Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I am showing you how to make an Indian cake shop classic, which is a pineapple pastry. In India, no matter what cake shop you walk into, this will always be available and it is my absolute favorite. It is creamy, fresh, and it has a beautiful flavor of pineapples. What's not to like? It's so good and so easy to make at home. Let's begin. You'll first begin macerating the pineapples. Now, macerating is a process of marinating fresh fruit with sugar. So here I have some finely chopped pineapples. I've taken the core out of the pineapples because that just gives me an itchy throat. So I have chopped it really finely and I'm adding some castor sugar. Now I'll mix it well and then let it sit in the refrigerator covered for at least 2 hours, but preferably overnight. And now we'll start working on the sponge. In a bowl, I'm going to take some warm milk. It is warm to the touch, meaning when you pop your finger in this milk, it should hurt a little bit. So that's how you want it to be. And then you're going to add some vinegar to make instant buttermilk. And these are the curdled bits that you see here. Into this now, I'll start adding my dry ingredients. So I have some all-purpose flour, castor sugar. Now into this, I'll add some leavening agents, so baking soda, baking powder, and some sea salt and edible vegetable oil, which is neutral tasting. And now all you have to do is give it a good whisk. Also make sure that you have preheated your oven before you start making the sponge to 180 degrees Celsius. All the quantities I have mentioned them down in the description box below. Make sure you're not over whisking the batter, you're only whisking it until it just comes together. This looks really good, so I'll use my spatula and go along the sides and bottom of the bowl. That's a beautiful velvety smooth batter which is ready to bake. So here I have a baking tray that I have greased and lined with parchment paper. I'm going to dump all of my cake batter onto it and then spread it out in a thin, even layer. Now you might think that this layer is extremely thin, but as it bakes in the oven, the leavening agents will give it a beautiful rise. So spread it out evenly like this. And now this will go in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 10 minutes. The sponge will not take on a whole lot of color. As soon as it's out of the oven, let it cool down completely onto a cooling rack or a wooden chopping board like this. Now after the cake has cooled down, you're going to trim off the edges and then you're going to divide this into 3 equal parts. I like to use a wooden or a metal scale so I get exact measurements. So divide this into 3 equal parts. And now I'm going to show you the macerated pineapple. So it's been about 3 hours since these pineapples were macerating, and you can see the fruit has softened a little bit and it has released all of those beautiful juices. And now you're going to use this to soak your cake sponges. So transfer the juices released from macerating the pineapples into a different cup or a bowl and generously soak the sponges. You'll see that the sponge starts to drink up all of that juice. It will just make the cake so much more flavorful and every bite will have a lovely pineapple flavor. I've also whipped some cream to stiff peaks. Now I have used non-dairy whipped topping, which is very easily available, and I have whipped it to stiff peaks on a high speed for about 4 to 5 minutes. Once you get the stiff peaks, that's perfect, and you're just going to generously slather it on one layer of this sponge. Then you're going to top it off with those fresh macerated pineapples. Then you're going to add a little bit more of that whipped cream so that it seals the fruit in when you top it with the other layer. So just a little bit of cream on top and then just spread it out evenly so that it covers the fruit, and then you're going to take the second layer. Now I'm going to transfer this onto my cake plate or my serving platter, and then I'm going to repeat the exact same process again. Finally, now I'm going to finish this off by adding the rest of the whipped cream and slather it generously all around the cake, and even the edges, I'll smooth them out. Now using my butter knife or a palette knife or an offset spatula even, I'll make swirly patterns like this. And now I'll pop this cake in the fridge for at least 1 hour so that it firms up a little bit. Now it's been an hour and we are ready to serve our cake. So I'm going to top it off with the rest of the macerated fresh pineapples, and I will also clean the cake board or the serving platter, which has a little bit of the cream on the outside. Now I'll trim off the edges with a sharp knife, and then we are ready to slice into our pineapple cake and make them into tiny pineapple pastries. So I like to divide this cake into 8 equal parts, so you get 8 servings from this recipe. And that's it, our pineapple pastry is ready, and it tastes so good. The sponge is really fluffy and soft, and it has been soaked with the macerated juices from the pineapples. Then we have topped it with some of that beautiful whipped cream that adds a lot of freshness to the cake. And we've also topped it generously with those macerated pineapple pieces, and you get them in every single bite. They are chock full of those pineapple pieces. And that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I post a new video. I'll see you again in another baking video. Until then, goodbye and happy baking.